This is Matt Roush, Technology Editor at WWJ News Radio 950. I'm here tonight at Lawrence Technological University for one of our events with LTU. We do morning events with them once a month, and a little bit more rarely we do evening events with them. Tonight's event is on greening Michigan, sustainable architecture. We're going to be talking with several experts in the Lawrence Tech faculty and from the community at large about greener buildings, buildings that use less energy, buildings that can bring us a more sustainable future and are built from more sustainable materials. And as you can see, we start these events with a very nice reception here at the Lawrence Tech UTLC Gallery. Well, I guess we really hit the sweet spot with our turnout here tonight. We had almost 300 people signed up for this event beforehand, and a good percentage of them came, which is nice to see for a free event.
I work at Lansing Community College and I coordinate the Architectural Technology program. So I'm here to gather information for our students and to get more information for me for green sustainability. We're trying to get students involved in this. We feel that it's this generation that's actually going to make the big change, the big difference, where those of us who've been in the profession for a long time we've kind of missed that boat somewhat.
Well, I work for, started a company called Breakaway Concepts. We're into rapid idea generation, and I'm here to look at some cutting edge development in the building.
Our first speaker here tonight was Glenn Leroy. He's Dean of the Architecture School here at Lawrence Tech. He talked a little bit about why it's important to be green, and also very encouragingly about how Michigan can use green architecture and green technology as sort of an economic development building block. He talked about all of the Midwest states getting together and kind of becoming a green belt rather than a rust belt. Our second speaker, Joseph Verizer, talked about why it's important to be green, how the world is getting, I guess, more hot, more flat, more crowded, as the recent best-selling book talked about, and why we need to be more cognizant of being green in our buildings.
This isn't going to come easy, and it isn't going to come free. We're going to have to change our thinking about what we're willing to pay for. This whole issue of sustainability and our change of lifestyle, and understand why the change has to occur. And I think the important part will be for them to realize that it's got to happen through such things as tax incentives, tax deductions, reward and penalty, because you won't find everything turning around to what it needs to be on a purely voluntary basis. And you can't dictate morality, and you can't very well dictate behavior, but you can incent behavior. And that's what I want to make sure people realize today, that we have to support our legislators, we have to call upon our legislators, we have to get them to take the right direction and support them when they do.
Dan Jacobs is another speaker here tonight. He's a practicing architect in Ann Arbor, and he talked to us about his company, his architecture firm's commitment to green architecture, and how they're sort of providing a good example with their offices and all the unique things that they're doing there.
Doing a sustainable building is not something that is rocket science. This is actually just doing things in a very sustainable, in a very straightforward way, common sense kind of way. It's actually the way a lot of us were taught when we came out of architecture schools, about building orientation and building an envelope and doing things in a way that's very appropriate. So it doesn't require a lot of things to be slapped on it to be green and be sustainable. I think you can do things in a really efficient way.
Well, people may think, well, what's high-tech about building materials? Let me tell you, a lot of things are high-tech about building materials these days. There's all sorts of sustainability being built into various materials, roofing, flooring, wall coverings. They're sustainable built into heating and cooling systems. And of course, the data systems, the wireless systems that are now part of homes and offices these days. There's a lot of high-tech in buildings, more than you'd think.
There's a huge need in this country, in this area, for building houses as well as rehabbing houses and buildings to be more energy efficient. And it's a great opportunity because we got the people who know how to do it. This is a great place to hear about it. And so that's what I want to do is to hear.
The more than 200 people who attended tonight's event, I think, walked away from this with a knowledge about how Michigan architecture is getting greener and greener, and it's becoming more and more important to think of future generations as we build the buildings that we have here, that we use more sustainable materials, that we design in energy efficiency right from the beginning. It's much easier to do that way than to retrofit something.